So, look, massive thanks to Jack Jiggens for joining myself this morning. So, any minute now, Jack should pop up on my timeline, hopefully, on Instagram. So, Jack is one of the panelists panel. Jack, massive thanks for joining myself this morning. I just want to cover some basics of what you think are some of the most important questions for the trading panel on Monday morning. So it's this coming Monday, Jack Jiggens from EXP Property Investment. So massive thanks for joining myself, Jack. Not just today, but also on every Monday morning. I think we've been going live for the last 2 months now. So it's about the 9th edition. So, Jack, in terms of the trading panel, I'm not going to kid the audience. Your knowledge is far superior to mine on trading. So what are some of the key pertinent questions which Aaron will be asking or you think should be asked?
First of all, what is trading? And first of all, hey Brendan, hope you've had a good week.
Yeah, good morning.
Not too sure about
I
the
feel
haircut.
like it's afternoon already. I don't know why. It's just after. What's that?
It's morning, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely morning.
But yeah, no, so really excited for the trading panel. Obviously, I've been hosting most of your events while we've been in lockdown, and it's quite nice to sit on a panel and not worry about gluing everyone together. Everyone on the panel is probably far more superior than myself in terms of trading, but we've traded quite a lot of property. And trading can be anything from pre-purchase to passing it on, so almost like a sourcing arrangement, and also flipping could also be considered trading. Buying vacant, filling, and then selling on could be trading. But the key questions I think most people are probably going to be looking for is that when the market's extremely volatile, like it definitely is at the minute, and there's a known unknown period coming up, that everyone knows that there's going to be some tweaks in the market in terms of values and changes, and surveyors can't tell us what property values are because there's no comparable sales at the minute. So it's an interesting time, and I think trading's a good time to be exploring that. So for example, we secured a property 2 weeks ago off the market from an agent local to me. It was a 4-bed bungalow. It's got scope to knock down and build 2 sets of houses, so 2 detached houses. We've traded that on to another developer for a fee. And the reason that we've done that is because we've got 3 other deals in legals for us to buy, go through planning and build out. So we will buy stuff and we will trade stuff depending on what suits us better and not. If that project was in a slightly different location, we would have probably built it out. But it didn't complement.
Can you go through the timescale, Jack? That sounds really quick.
Yeah, so offer accepted 2 weeks ago. It's due to complete in mid-June. So about, what date are we now? 22nd. So it's probably going to be a 4.5 to 5 week sourced find fund completion, and then a fee for our company.
Is that a record for yourself?
No, I had a very quick one last January. Offered late Jan and completed 3 weeks later.
So how come you have it so fast? Because I understand from buying houses, or my own house, to be fair, it wasn't so simple, to say the least. So is it your legal team, everything in place, you're just really well organized? What tips would you give to the listeners out there?
So that our purchases actually take longer than that because we have to secure investor and senior debt. So our purchases do take longer than that. They don't take excessively long. They take about average. I would normally say two to 2.5 months. But they were quick because they were both traded deals. So I secured them via either direct to vendor or through an agent, and secured a price. And both. So when I trade deals, the deal is not actually that important in my eyes. Obviously, it has to work, but the deal itself brings the right buyers. The more important thing is the buyers. So cross-referencing, checking the buyers, doing proof of funds, making sure you know, like, and trust them. And in both instances, the buyers were cash buyers. I mean, obviously, touch wood, this one next month goes through. But the previous one I mentioned was a cash buyer. We also have another project which we flipped, which took about 2 months. Secured it off the market, and the buyer was cash it again. So I suppose to summarise that, my advice is make sure your buyer's serious, because you can lose relationships with agents and deals, and if you don't have a very good buyer, there's a lot of fluff in there when it comes to property development. And if people aren't proceedable, you need to sort of whittle them down, if that makes sense.
It fully does. Look, in terms of the event, just to summarise, it's this coming Monday morning. Delighted we got yourself, Ross Harper, Jay Howard, and Darryl Norcutt. I'm sure I've missed out one name. Apologies. Safe Thursday. So Safe's new to my event. So, look, is there anything else you want to add about the panel before I move on to what you're doing in early June? You've got an event coming up for yourself, Jack. So
yeah, no, cool. So, I mean, if there's anyone out there, I know that we've got a few people online that they're keen to listen to some really experienced people about adding value to property with a bit of creativity. Jay Howard's very good at it. He buys his stuff predominantly in cash. Then join the event on Monday. Obviously, it is a bank holiday Monday, but I think it's a good time to be learning and skilling up while we're all at home. And I'm really looking forward to being a panelist and not a host, and enjoying it from the other end. Come over with questions.
I did forget about this being a long weekend, Jack. I did wonder why when I went into Sainsbury's this morning there was such a long queue, and I forgot it's the long weekend. So
did you buy an Easter egg at Sainsbury's?
No more Easter eggs. Next, literally about 100 yards.
I can see an Easter egg.
Yeah, it's still not been eaten, to be fair, Jack, that Easter egg.
Well, I'll come round and eat it.
I've done fairly well not eating that Easter egg. I have to admit, I've eaten plenty of things I shouldn't be eating, but that Easter egg has stayed there for some time. I have to admit, I was tempted yesterday. Look, so that's this coming Monday the 25th of May. We kick off at 9:40 to 10, which allows informal networking before the presentations, panel, and breakout rooms begin. You're going to be in a breakout room, Jack, focused on creative deals with Jay Howard as well. There's 2 other breakout rooms. Just a quick plug. One of them is your business partner, Ben Richards from EE Property Investments, but he's also from Aura Architecture as well. So just a little plug about who Ben is, because you probably can do it better than I can. All I would say is Ben from Aura Architecture, who's worked with Berkeley Homes. For me, that's really the big thing. Working with, huge units, 839 units was one of them. Educated at Cardiff University, but you're much more eloquent, I'm sure. So what would you say about Ben?
So Ben's got over 12 years of experience in property and construction. He graduated evidently with a structural engineer master's, so he's very good at design and delivery and understanding the commercial elements too. We joined forces just over 2 years ago. I think it's probably leading up to about 3 when we started working together. Good morning. I think that's that's Barry from Canary Homes. Good to see you. So obviously Ben's very experienced in the design and delivery process, and that's his side of the business. He also runs his own architectural practice called Aura Homes, which is based out of Clapham, South London. They not only specialise in residential property extensions, but also developments too. Obviously, that being almost like a sister business, and Ben running that independently, it contributes to our EXP property, which we do a lot of mixed-use planning and creative structure deals. So we've been working together for about 3 years. EXP's been running just over 2, and we've got 3 deals in the pipeline, and we've got 3 deals that we're building out, and we've got a further £13.2 billion worth of pipeline, both assisted sales, developments, residential, commercial, and land.
So talk about assisted sales. I may be wrong, I may be right. On the 2nd of June, I presume it's the afternoon.
It's not about assisted sales this time. Yeah, so EXP have launched our own webinar, and thanks, Brendan, for offering the opportunity to discuss it. Our webinars are basically to help people out no matter where you're at in your journey with property investment, purchasing or development. The first webinar we did, which seems to be the most popular topic that we do and we do well, is assisted sales, which is where you don't buy the asset, but you work with them to add value and then sell it almost like a consultant, but you tend to get the same profit margins. We have two webinars coming up. One's on the 2nd of June and one's on the 23rd of June. To give you the details of the one on the 2nd of June, it's going to be about property deals and keeping your pipeline full. So my job in the business is to keep pipeline full and keep deals coming in. So at the beginning of this live, I mentioned a deal that we're flipping in mid-June. That was, by my doing, finding a deal and finding a buyer. We have a few others in legals, subject to planning. So it's all about me keeping that pipeline full so that Ben can stay in the design and delivery. There's a known developer's curse that they either have too many funds or too many deals and never both. So our aim is to always have a steady flow of all of it.
So Jack, I've managed just to get a background, not the one I was looking for, to be fair. That's a one-page PDF which talks about the event on Monday. So it's got the panel, who the panelists are. There's also, as you can see, the picture there of the gentleman there in the lift. It's the elevator pitch. So a fascinating background about how the elevator pitch came about. I went to the Barbican this year, and there was a presentation by an architect who was talking about how the elevator pitch came about, because it was an architect who created it, in fact. Architect or engineer, so who was showcasing their own lift and talking while they were using the lift. So that's where the elevator pitch came about. You just see above my head, it says funding update. There's, as I say, that's from Bond Finance. So look, as I say, this coming Monday is the best place to be on Bank Holiday Monday, is at my property brunch. So feel free to join us this coming Monday. Jack, I just want to say massive thanks for your time. Massive thanks to our listeners. Just a call to action to our listeners as well. I am open to interviews on Zoom, of course, but also on Instagram Live. I do like the platform. It's easy to use. You can be almost anywhere and use it. You don't need a laptop. You can just use your phone. So did we talk about the timings of your event, Jack, in June?
Times, it's kicking off at 3 o'clock on Tuesday, the 2nd of June.
So 3 p.m. Let me just put this in, 3 p.m., 2nd of June. And what's the title of the event? So
it's finding property deals and keeping your pipeline full. There's 100 tickets. There's 100 tickets available. On the webinar, we'll be discussing what we do to find property projects, what areas of the market we cover, how we keep our pipeline full. I know there's a lot of people out there that only use agents, and I don't think they find the most profitable deals. There's a lot of people that only use direct to vendor listers, and I don't think they get enough exposure and fluidity in their pipeline. So we do both, and we have to obviously have a methodology of making sure that we're not radically spreading our weight too thin. But yeah, so I mean, the best thing you can do is just join for an hour and a half on the time. We like our webinars to be interactive, so we're not talking at you. We want your questions. We want to be put on the spot. We want you to ask us questions that make it more relevant for you. So all of our webinars are interactive.
Jack, I just want to say, as I say, a massive thanks for both this morning and also the previous Monday morning. So just to summarize, this coming Monday morning, join myself, Jack Jiggens. I don't know how much years of experience we have on that panel, but I'd say it's close to 100 years in total. Certainly 100 plus years of experience in the room. And that's not just who's on the panel. Sometimes it's the people in the breakout rooms as well who've got a vast knowledge to share. So as I say, it's not just the panel, it's also about the other elements which create the property brunch. So the elevator pitches, the breakout rooms as well. So funding and legal, we've got design and delivery, and creative deals. Look, Jack, massive thanks to our listeners as well. And I will be joining you on the 2nd of June as well. I've just been attendee, thank goodness. So
you can have a week off.
Yeah, so 2nd of June at 3 p.m. I'll be tuning in. Did you say it's 60 minutes, 90 minutes? What's the format, Jack?
Because it's an interactive webinar, we want questions. So we sort of keep it a bit open. The presentation will probably be about 50 minutes, but that'll be interactive throughout, so anyone can ask any questions. But we're happy to stay on the call as long as it takes, really. But it kicks off at 3 on the 2nd of June, and it's about finding property projects and keeping your pipeline full. And we'll be talking about that for about 40 to 50 minutes, and then just doing a Q&A until everyone wants to get ahead with their evenings.
Jack, I just want to say a massive thanks to our listeners as well, and thank you.
Catch you then. Cheers, Brendan.